if you're having longevity issues with your fragrances, I've got 10 great smelling, long lasting fragrances to go through today. So if you're interested, you know what to do, people. Stay tuned. What is good, YouTube? Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Mikey Cologne, and if you're tuned in, as always people, thank you very much for doing so. That is right, I've got 10 long lasting fragrances, and what sparked this video was someone commented on one of my videos the other day saying, what's one of your longest lasting fragrances? I don't care about the cost. So that made me think, hang on a minute, let's do a video or a review on 10 long-lasting fragrances. Some of these are inexpensive, a couple of them a little bit more on the pricey side. I try and average it out so there's something for everyone. I'm not going to spend too long on each fragrance because we will be here forever. And this is in no particular order. Let me just say something before I do get going. A lot of the fragrances that I own, I would say 99% of them, they all smell great, and some of these might be a little bit challenging to wear because obviously with longer lasting fragrances normally they're going to be a little bit darker, they're going to have some oud in it, they're going to have loads of woods. But anyway, we're going to start with an inexpensive fragrance from the house of Lattafa. It is Ragba Wood Intense. This thing lingers in your nostril cavities when you spray it. And I know that for a fact. The other day, I sprayed this up in the air just to remind myself about the scent. I done one spray. Sprayed it, went in like that, smelt it, was wandering about the house. It was still stuck in my nasal cavity for ages. It just clings to your nostril cavity. This is beastly. I think you can pick this up for about 18 to 20 pound in the UK. It is a 100ml bottle. It is Eau de Parfum concentration. I am going to spray it now, just one spray. You do not want to go, love the atomizers on these, pressurized. You do not want to go overzealous with this fragrance. Right, you've got caramel, guaiac wood, licorice, cedar, sugar, oud, sandalwood, cashmere wood, incense, vanilla, amber, oak moss and musk. Straight off the bat, smoky, a little bit leathery, very woodsy. Like this has a strong woodsy backbone. The oud in this isn't barnyardy or fecal or anything funky. It is what gives this fragrance that backbone. Plus you've got the cashmere wood, the guaiac wood. The guaiac wood is what's coming across smoky. This does have a sweet side to it. It's like if you put caramel and sugar in a pan, heated it up and it started burning, and you get that smoke in the air, that sweet burnt sort of nuance. That is what you get in this fragrance. On the late dry down, I do get a little bit of the cedar and the musk is there a little bit. The vanilla and the amber you do pick up. It does have a very slight balsamic quality, but that don't come out till the dry down. So it starts off leathery, smoky, woodsy, sweet. You get that, like I say, it's like caramel and sugar being burnt in a pan, and then when it dries down more and more, that's when the amber and the vanilla come out, and like I say, it adds a little bit of a balsamic quality. This is a warm fragrance. This is a winter fragrance. You're going to get 8 to 10 hours out of this fragrance. You will detect it on skin the next day. It is on clothes for days. Some of these are beast mode. But anyway, we're starting off the list with Ragba Wood Intense. This is a great smelling fragrance. very masculine, I should say. Up next, I was looking at my Manceras and my Montels, and I'm not being funny, I could have filled this list with them alone. But I wanted to go for something that's rich, sweet, jammy. It is Rose Vanille. This is a great smelling fragrance. If you're looking for something complex, you won't find it here. But what you will find here is this jammy bad boy. Seductive. It is unisex leaning femme, but I don't care about that. This lasts and lasts and lasts on my skin. Clothes, it is on there for ages. I wore a jumper once, or wore this out, wore a jumper. Was only out for about 3-4 hours. Put the jumper back in the wardrobe, and it just lingered in there for weeks. And it was just like every time I opened it, I could smell Rose Vanille. Right, Calabrian Bergamot, Turkish Delight with Rose, Cedarwood, Intense Vanilla, White Musk. Simple note breakdown, simple fragrance. It opens up sweet. That bergamot literally is there, then it's gone. And you can't even really detect that it's bergamot. It's just, it pushes a fresh blast straight away, then it's gone. And then it is rose, it is vanilla. The only time this changes on my skin, so it's very linear. The only time it changes when it's on my skin is when it gets into the dry down, and the cedar comes through a little bit with the white musk. It comes out to play a tad. This does have a little bit of a musky edge, but nothing overbearing, whereas if you didn't enjoy musk fragrances, that wouldn't put you off this fragrance. Oh, it's just got this. This is great for date nights. Like, it's all about that jammy, sweet, vanillic rose. And that is it. And for something so simple, it works great. And longevity, like I say, it's crazy with this one. And that is Mancera's Rose Vanille. Unisex leaning femme. I have put a couple of freshies or fresher fragrances on the list, and this is one of them. It is coming from the house of Al Haramain. It is Amber Oud Gold Edition. This is they're inspired by or clone of Ebba Pura from the house of Xerjoff. And this thing is beastly. You only need a couple of sprays of this fragrance. To me, it is an all year round scent. It's fruity, it's very sweet. Do you know what? I'm not even going to spray it. I ain't, because this lingers in the air. You can spray this in a room in the morning, come back in the afternoon, and you can still smell it floating in the air. It's just, it is beastly. Right, you've got bergamot, green notes, melon, amber, gourmand notes, pineapple, musk, vanilla, and woodsy notes. The bergamot and the green notes, to me, push a lot of freshness into the fragrance, like this citric freshness you get up top, but straight away you get a pineapple and a melon, so they're all blending in together. Once the opening calms down, I get this peachy nuance that comes in, and there's no peach listed in the note breakdown, but I definitely pick up a peachy nuance. This does have a woodsy undertone running through the life of the fragrance. It does have a little bit of a musky edge to it. The vanilla pushes more sweetness in, but the vanilla doesn't come through on my skin until it gets sort of into the mid. And then once it starts drying down a little bit more, the vanilla, to me, adds a little bit of a powdery touch. But this is very fruity and sweet. You have to enjoy fruity fragrances and sweet fragrances to enjoy this. And I'm going to say it again. It is beastly. Like, again, 8 to 10 hours, easy on skin, clothes, 4 days. And that is Amber Oud Gold Edition from Al Haramain. Quickly, I think you can pick this up for about £35–40 now in the UK. inexpensive and it performs. This one that I'm going to show you next was an instant like, then quickly fell into a love. It is from the house of Loewe and it is Paulas Ibiza. What a stunner this is. Beachy vibes, freshy. Man, let me just show you. It is a 100ml bottle and it is an EDT. And let me tell you something, for an eau de toilette, this has some staying power. I've sprayed this on before bed, say at 9 o'clock, and the next morning after breakfast, about 8 o'clock, I can still detect it on my skin. That's 11 hours for a fresh fragrance. Let me spray it. I love the way this smells. To me, this is an all year round fragrance. It's playful, it's easy, but you have to enjoy like a green tone to your fragrances to appreciate this. Let me just spray it. Not bad atomizer, it does get the job done. Right, you got coconut water, galbanum, Madagascar mandarin orange, driftwood, frangipani, daffodil, bourbon vanilla absolute, Indonesian patchouli and ambergris. Oh, that galbanum in this cuts straight through the fragrance. You do get the coconut water. It comes across ever so slightly milky, but it's not dense, it's airy. The frangipani and the daffodil give this fragrance a tropical vibe. The driftwood gives it this sort of aquatic marine nature with a little bit of a salty nuance. Plus it does add a woodsy undertone or woodsy nuance to the fragrance. To me, the ambergris in Paulas Ibiza sort of just adds to the overall scent profile. And I think the patchouli just adds to the woodsy side of things. This is fun, playful, very versatile. If I was to wear this to the office, I would only put a couple of sprays of it on because it does push. If you're going for days out with the family and you want to smell fresh, green, a little bit coconutty and tropical, put this fragrance on. It never becomes too much. The only thing that is a strong note in this is that galbanum. It does cut through the fragrance and it does add this green side to it. But apart from that, the coconut isn't too much, the florals, they're not too much, the ambergris, the patchouli, nothing ever becomes too much apart from that green nuance that sort of rounds and hugs the fragrance. This is a stunner. I love this fragrance. I will be getting a backup bottle of this because this is always going to be in my collection. And that is Paulas Ibiza from the house of Loewe. This is a stunner. This one that I'm about to talk to you now is probably one of the strongest fragrances on this list. It comes in a 30ml bottle and it is from the house of Francesca Bianchi. It is Byzantine Amber. This is beast mode on a whole new level. I'm telling you, only one spray would do of this fragrance. I wore this fragrance to test it and I'm going to wait until it gets to the winter time to rock this fragrance. This is potent stuff. It's animalic, it's leathery. I'm going to spray it. I'm going to do a little spray. Like I say, they come in 30ml bottles. I believe they're extractor Parfum, so obviously higher oil concentration. This thing is going to linger. That's it, that's all it's getting. Literally, no more. Straight away, it fills the air. This is a small bottle, but it is a loud fragrance. You got bergamot, cinnamon, geranium, benzoin, labdanum, frankincense, leather, styrax and ambergris. I don't hardly get no bergamot. What I get is smoke, leather. The geranium sort of adds this spicy, rosy nuance. This has an animalic side to it, and that for me is coming from the ambergris. But I think it's the way everything sort of gelled together. This does have a balsamic, resinous, thick heart from the Styrax, from the Labdanum, from the benzoin. This is a dense, thick, heavy fragrance with an animatic touch. And when I say touch, I mean edge and leathery, smoky. Oh, it is strong. But I didn't think that I liked animatic fragrances, but there's something in this, or just the way the whole thing's blended. It gives off this rough, rugged, dark, sexy edge. Beastly. If you want something that will last, check this fragrance out. Powerhouse. If you enjoy Maison Francis Kurkdjian's Ood Setting Mood, you would appreciate this scent. It is coming from the House of Paris Corner. It is Ministry of Oud, Ood Setting. Rose Oud combo, inexpensive. I believe these are 25 to 30 pounds in the UK for 100ml extractor Parfum. Let's spray this bad boy. Not bad atomizer. Right, God, straight away. Oh, jammy, rich. Bulgarian rose, agar wood, which is oud. Turkish rose, benzoin, violet, vanilla. Oh, straight away. Oud, rose. The rose is centre stage in this fragrance. That is the opening. Once you get into the mid on my skin, that's when this fragrance comes alive. It turns a little bit balsamic. The violet turns this fragrance a little bit powdery, and as it dries down more and more, that violet turns this fragrance a little bit more powdery, and then it gets a little bit more balsamic. But the rose and the oud stay sort of the main players in the fragrance. Simple, effective, strong, inexpensive. And like I say, if you do enjoy Rose and Oud, or you do enjoy Ood Setting Mood from the House of MFK, because this is a clone of that fragrance, you will be happy with this scent. And if you're on a budget and you want something that is strong, check this fragrance out. They have, Paris Corner have loads of clone fragrances, like they're doing well. Lattafa have loads. They're great houses to dive into if you haven't got a lot of money, if you're on a budget. It's just knowing what to go for, and this is one of them. And that is Ood Setting from the House of Paris Corner, and the line is Ministry of Oud. If you're not on a budget, get your paws on Ganymede. Yeah, I've spoke about this recently. I've done a side-by-side comparison, but the OG had to go on this list because on my skin, this is Neuron Beast mode. I love, look at the way the bottles look. They're just smart, clean bottles. Great presentation. You got saffron, Italian mandarin, Chinese osmanthus, violet, Akigala wood, immortelle absolute. This is fresh, spicy, woodsy. Straight away it opens citrusy with the mandarin, spicy from the saffron, metallic, cold. Oh, there's just, this fragrance, when this come out, this done things different. The perfumer behind this fragrance is Quinton Biche, and he has done loads of fragrances. There's another one on this list that I believe he's the perfumer behind that fragrance. But back to this. Minerally, salty, ozonic, spicy. The Akigala wood is the driving force behind this fragrance. You get the Chinese osmanthus, the immortelle gives this fragrance this dry, sort of hay-like feel to it. Plus it pushes a little bit of sweetness into the fragrance. This is a stunner. This is a dressed up fragrance that if you're going to, I don't know, a party, like a smart party, not like a 18-year-old birthday bash. Like if you're going to a formal event or it's someone's wedding and you're dressed up and you want to stand out and you want something that lasts, try Ganymede from the house of Marc Antoine Bois. Stunning fragrance. He done a great job with this. This will always be in my collection. I was looking at my Aaron Terence Hughes fragrances, and there was a few that I could have picked out to put on this list, but I went with Luna. Right, with the name being Luna, you'd think that it's a feminine fragrance, laid back. It isn't. It's not rough and rugged, it's just loud and strong. This is his 10 mls, this is Extract to Parfum. This is a powerhouse. Right, you got Rose Absolute, Tahitian Vanilla, Incense, Musk, Leather, Patchouli, Ethical Ambergris, and Dark Thai Oud. And that Thai Oud in this, it is the driving force. But that rose is there as well. Up top, the rose is centre stage. This fragrance opens up slightly smoky, a little bit leathery, and like I say, you get the rose. But it's straight away, it's more of, I would say, a little bit of an earthy rose. But then as the fragrance dries down, it starts turning into a little bit of a jammy rose. That is what it comes across to my nose. When the Ethical Ambergris mixes in with that Thai Oud, once you start getting into the mid, this fragrance then has a little bit of an animalic edge to it. Only a little bit, but there is a little something there. And the Oud adds depth, structure, it adds this thickness and power to the fragrance, and it pushes it. Oh, it is great. To me, when it comes to Oud fragrances, I think that they're unisex, most of them, because Oud is an acquired taste. Both male and female can wear Oud fragrances. So when it comes to a fragrance like this, I would say if you enjoy Oud, then rock it. It doesn't matter what sex you are. And there's always, this fragrance always has a little bit of sweetness to it. Like that vanilla just pushes a little bit of sweetness into the fragrance, which sort of tames the edges a little bit of that Oud. And the Thai Oud in this, it is something else. If you haven't tried Luna, order yourself, if you're not too sure about it, order yourself a 10 ml, or I think he does samples. Give it a go, because I think if you enjoy Oud fragrances, you enjoy Luna. And that is coming from the house of Aaron Terence Hughes. Stunner. Up next, we've got one coming from the house of Paco Rabanne. Can you guess which one it is? If you chose Lucky, you're right. It is Paco Rabanne 1 Million Lucky. What a great fragrance this is. I have backup bowls of this because I never want to run out of it. On my skin, I get easily 8 hours. On clothes, it is there for days. This is sweet, fruity, fresh. You got the atomizers. They do give out some juice. Right, you got grapefruit, plum, ozonic notes, hazelnut, honey, cashmere wood, cedar wood, jasmine, patchouli, vetiver, and oak moss. I don't hardly get no oak moss in this. The woods to me are just giving this fragrance a strong structure, because nothing screams woodsy in this fragrance. But when this first opens up, the ozonic notes, they're doing their thing, they're working their magic. I do pick up on the grapefruit, but only on skin. When I spray this in the air, I cannot pick up on the grapefruit. But when I put my nose to skin, I can pick it up. Not heavily, but it is there. And you've got the fruity plum, so it's juicy, sweet, fresh. As the fragrance dries down, it tends to sweeten up, plus it warms up because of the honey. And like I say, I don't get a lot of the woods. And that oak moss, to me, I wouldn't even know this had oak moss in it. The patchouli, I think, just has a helping hand in the sweet side of things. And the jasmine rounds this fragrance, like it gives this fragrance soft edges, because this is a smooth scent. And I think that jasmine just stops it from going too sweet, going too much, and it just rounds everything out and makes it smooth. Like I say, great longevity on my skin. It has a little bit of a sweet, sexy edge to it, if that makes sense. But anyway, that is come from the House of Paco Rabanne 1 million, and that is Lucky. If you stayed with me till the end, thank you very much. You are a true warrior for putting up with me. Right, this fragrance has been on quite a few lists of mine lately. It has been in my weekly rotation reviews. I've spoken about it, and for good reason, because this thing, it smells great and it has great longevity. It is coming from the house of Jean-Paul Gaultier, and it is Le Male Elixir Parfum. This is a stunning scent. This isn't overly complex, but if you want something that lasts long, has a little bit of a sexy side to it, is warm, sweet. Get your paws on this. Let's spray it. Right, you've got lavender, mint, vanilla, benzoin, honey, tonka bean and tobacco. This opens up warm, sweet, yet fresh and a little bit aromatic. The lavender and the mint are obviously adding that fresh, subtle freshness to the fragrance. Once the opening calms down, the fragrance warms up, the honey creeps in with the tonka, it goes all gooey. And that tobacco, you do pick it up, but it's way in the back. And I've said it before, all the notes, the honey, the tonka is all dribbling or dripping over the tobacco, smothering it, just so you can get a little pinch of it. But great scent. Great date night fragrance if you're going out for a few drinks with the lads and you want to wear something that's attractive. This will do the job. Great release. It's one of the better releases of 2023 so far. It is up there, and this gets a lot of hype for good reason. It smells great and it lasts a long time and it's mass appealing. So well done to Jean-Paul Gaultier for this fragrance. Right, that is 10 long-lasting fragrances. I threw some freshies in there. I put some inexpensive ones in there. There's a couple more expensive fragrances, but there's nothing that's going to break the bank too much. I was trying to think about price and just the cost of everything and the scent quality. All these fragrances are smooth, they're of quality. Even the inexpensive fragrances smell great. There's nothing harsh or off-putting about these fragrances. A couple of them do have a little bit of an animatic side to them, so obviously if you do like animatic fragrances, give them ones a go. Right, people, let me know which ones you have tried on this list. Let me know which ones or which one you would put into the list. I appreciate every single one of you, and remember, smelling good's always a pleasure and never a chore, and I will see you lot on the next one. Cheers.